Hi folks, I'm Hector Garcia, CPA and QuickBooks consultant. On this video, I'm going to talk to you about moving from QuickBooks Online into QuickBooks Desktop that looks like this. Now, millions of people have moved to QuickBooks Online because they want their accounting on the cloud. Maybe they want to use a mobile device to create certain transactions like invoices or receiving payments, or they just want the simplicity of being able to access QuickBooks from anywhere with a computer with internet. However, QuickBooks Online is not as robust as QuickBooks Desktop. And in some cases, there are more features in QuickBooks Desktop that you might need to run your accounting. Things like inventory, custom reports, custom forms, and many other features that QuickBooks Desktop is just better at QuickBooks Online, quite frankly. And people just want to move and change and stay within the QuickBooks ecosystem. So this video will be perfect for you. Now, there might be another group of people that want to move from QuickBooks Online to QuickBooks Desktop, which are folks that are maybe closing down their business, shutting down this operation, and they want to have a permanent record of their books just in case they get audited. So they get QuickBooks Desktop so they can download that data and keep it in their computer. In either case, this video will be good for you. Now, if you use a regular menu process, like clicking on the gear menu and then clicking on export data, you're not going to find a button that says, click here to export to QuickBooks Desktop. There is an export to Excel button, and that basically allows you to export Excel reports. And you could export to Excel, but there's no easy way to bring that data into QuickBooks Desktop. You need to use a specific desktop conversion tool. You're not going to find that within the regular menu. You actually have to know that URL to do so. So I have it here in my trusty custom menu that I built, where I have pretty much access to every single function inside QuickBooks Online. And I'm going to click in that URL and go straight there. I know not everybody has my shortcuts menu, but all you really need to do is take this URL that's on the screen. I'll copy and paste it in the description, and you would basically copy and paste that after you log in into QuickBooks so you can get into this page. This is the only way right now that you can download your QuickBooks Online file into QuickBooks Desktop, and you have to use that link and you have to follow the instructions in this video step by step. Okay, so we did the first step, which is click on the link. Now it tells you there's a bunch of steps here. I'm gonna walk you through them. First thing I'm gonna do is click on Get Started. So I click on Get Started. Then it says, first thing you need to do is download the tool. So I'm gonna click on Download the tool, and that's gonna download a tool into my computer that then I need to install. So I'm gonna click on this setup.exe that went into my downloads and just go through the regular installation process of any Windows app. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this in. And I should have mentioned that this only works for Windows, QuickBooks for Windows. This won't work in a Mac. Probably should have mentioned that at the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the installation of the tool. And once the tool is completely installed and you've hit yes, accept, finish, all that stuff, then you're done. The tool is completely installed. Step one. So now I'm going to hit on continue. So now the app is installed in my computer. Then the next question is, what do you want to bring in? Do you want to bring in financial data without transactions, or you want to bring it with transactions? So there might be some cases in which you want to bring it without transactions. In this specific case, because of the examples I gave you at the very beginning of the video, what makes sense is to bring all the financial data. So that's what we're going to select. And then we're going to click on continue in the bottom right, the big blue button that says continue, hit continue. Then it says request your data. So basically it says, hey, we are in the process of requesting the data and creating a download file. There's a couple of tips here for you to read, just kind of letting you know the things that are not going to come over with your QuickBooks, in your QuickBooks Online to desktop conversion. There's also a link here that says learn about limitations. I'm going to put that hard link in the description as well, so you can go straight to it, because I do recommend that you go through this list one by one and you have an intimate understanding of all the things that you will lose during the conversion. It's not going to look the same. The data is not going to be 100% the same. So you want to go through all these things and this information so you're acutely aware of what's happening during this conversion. So if you're just doing a backup, because you're closing down the company and it's just for audit purposes, maybe you don't care about this too much. But if you're converting to then run your operation in QuickBooks Desktop, then all these things really do matter. And you do need to make sure you're aware of what you're going to be missing. Okay, so the next thing it tells me is what's your name and what's your email. We're going to click on continue. And basically at this point, I'm just going to wait. So I'm going to wait until I get an email that says, hey, the data is ready to download. Okay, so I finally get an email that says, congratulations, we have exported your data. Now go back to the same place that you were in and continue the process. So I go back into QuickBooks Online, and assuming that I had logged off and logged back on once the email arrived, I'm going to go back and open up that shortcut again. I'm going to copy and paste this URL in the description below, because you're not going to be able to access that unless you have that URL or you have my custom shortcuts menu that I've created. So anyway, so now we're back in the same page. It looks like as if we haven't done anything, but it's fine. We're going to click on get started again, even though it feels like we're starting over. We're not. I'm going to click on continue. And then I'm going to go to all financial data. Again, I'm just repeating it as if I haven't done it before, but I'm going to do it again. But now the screen looks different. It looks like this. It says you've already done a download. We created it on this date. What you need to do now, the next step is for you to click on continue to download. So I'm going to click on continue to download in the bottom, and I'm going to get here under step 4 that says, all right, next thing I need you to do is I need you to open up QuickBooks Desktop. So I'm going to open up QuickBooks Desktop, and I'm going to make sure that I'm in no company open, like it should be on this screen that says no company open. I should not have any company open. This is the screen that I should be on. Assuming that you're just installed QuickBooks for the first time, you're not going to have any of these company files, and you'll just have an empty screen there. So I have QuickBooks Desktop 2022 open right now, and no company open. So I'll go back into QuickBooks Online, and then I'm going to click on download QBXML file. So I click on download QBXML file. It's going to have a little progress bar. Once the file is done downloading, it should be right there in my downloads folder. I'm going to just go to show in folder here to show you, and I'll open up that folder. So there's my file right there. That file contains all the data in my QuickBooks Online file that's going to convert over to QuickBooks Desktop. So that's there. It's sitting in my downloads folder at the moment. So the next step is now I'm going to click on continue so I can continue to see step by step. And that tells you exactly what you need to do. You need to now open your desktop migration tool, which is a tool that we installed a little bit earlier on. And you're going to have to open the tool and then go find the file and then click on open and then click on browse, click on import, and just kind of follow the steps there step by step. So the steps are there on the screen. You're going to have it. You can print it. You can look at it. I'm going to do the exact same thing and show you step by step. So my QuickBooks Desktop, it's open. I'm just going to minimize it for now. So there should be a file right here on my desktop called QuickBooks Desktop Migration Tool. That's the file that I just installed just now, QuickBooks Desktop Migration Tool. I'll double click on that and I'll just have this pop-up screen that says, where is your XML file? That's in my downloads folder. So I'm going to click here on browse. Then I'm going to click on downloads, and I found my export company XML. That's the file that I just downloaded. I'll click on open, and then I'm going to click on import. Again, my QuickBooks Desktop is running in the background under no company open. I'm going to minimize that. I have to do that. If I click import and that's not done, it's going to give me an error. So I'm going to click on import. Then it's going to ask me, what do you want to call this file? Where do you want to save it? So let's say I'm going to save it on the desktop for this particular case, but generally you should have it in a folder that it makes sense, not the desktop. But I'm going to call this Hector Garcia Corp. Okay, so I'm just going to call it Hector Garcia Corp, whatever the name of my corporation is. In this case, I'm putting it in the desktop, but generally you should put it somewhere else. So I'm going to click on save, and I'm literally just going to stare at the screen or go out and have some coffee for a little bit until something pops up and asks me for the next question. When something pops up and asks you for the next question, you're probably going to get something inside QuickBooks Desktop that tells you, hey, you got to take an action here, which is right here that showed up in the screen. Happened in real time while I was talking. So right here, I'm just going to hit yes whenever this QuickBooks file is open, and that's it. Then I'm going to click on continue, and then it's going to ask me, double check that you want to connect your QuickBooks Desktop app to the desktop migration tool. Yes, I'm going to click on done there. And then I'm just going to wait for the next prompt. So in this particular case, it didn't ask me for anything else. this popped up saying your data has successfully been imported. Click on Done. And now you should be able to open up your homepage in your QuickBooks desktop and start using your QuickBooks as normal. The next thing I usually recommend after doing this and after closing whatever pop-up shows up on the screen is to run your reports. So I'm going to start with the Reports menu and then go to Company Financial and click on Profit and Loss Standard. I'm going to run a Profit and Loss Standard. I'm going to click on Dates and click on All Dates and then run a report with all dates. I'm going to go ahead and right-click and zoom the font a little bit just so it's a little bit easier for you to see during the video. And then I'm going to look at all the way in the bottom, the net income. This is what matters to me. Is this net income 239 to 324.34? Does this match what QuickBooks Online has? That's what I'm gonna audit what the margin of error is in this conversion. So I'm gonna go into QuickBooks Online, then I'm gonna go into my reports, click on reports, and then go into scroll down to my profit and loss report. Should be here somewhere, right here, profit and loss. And then same thing, I'm going to select all dates. Let's do all dates here. Click on run. And I'm going to scroll all the way down, look at the net income, and there is a difference. Now, earlier when I told you there's a couple of things that ask you, take a look at this, take a look at this, there might be a margin of error. This is very true, and it's not perfect, okay? You can try to find the issue and then try to replicate it with the journal entry, but these conversions are just not perfect. Some people would say unacceptable. I don't accept, a margin of error that big. I get it, but that's what the tool does. Nothing else I can do. I guarantee you, a lot of you will do the conversion and you will have to the penny. Some of you will be $5 difference. Some of you will be an incredibly huge difference of almost $30,000 like I do. One of the things you could do is run this by year. So I'm going to go here, total by year, click on run report, and then take a look at all the years and just kind of go year by year, see if you can find the culprit. So, and that just basically helps me narrow down what the potential issue could be. It doesn't fix the problem really. So we'll go here by year and then click on refresh, and then I'll scroll all the way down to my net income. And then I can see 2018 is negative 269. That matches. Let's see 2019. 7260, and here's 7260. So far so good. At some point I'll find a discrepancy. Let's see 2020, it's 92,000 and change. Okay, there you go. That seems very similar. Okay, exact. Yes, exact. 2021, 346. Let's take a look at that. 347, so not that bad. And then 2020, negative 34, and in this case, is negative 7. So it looks like my big issue is in 2020. So then I can try to go in there, or 2022 actually. Then I can try to go in there and isolate the year that's the issue. Okay, and then I can do the same thing in QuickBooks Online. And then I can go line by line and try to spot the transaction. Again, this is not going to solve my problem per se. I may have to recreate something. If something like this were to happen, I'm sort of kind of glad that it happened during the video so we can kind of hone down on discussing this. But you can go down, look at every transaction and see if you could potentially spot where the difference could be. Let's see if it's really obvious. In this case, let me look at both of these. So this one's 20,000 in wages. I have 20,000 in wages too. 25,000. Cost of goods sold, 26,000, and in QuickBooks is nothing. So that's where it is. It's in cost of goods sold. Now I'll add something to this, which is QuickBooks Online behaves different than QuickBooks Desktop when it comes to inventory. And many times these discrepancies happen with inventory transactions. So there might be some transactions here that are posting to inventory. For example, all these are posting to inventory, where in QuickBooks, none of them are posting to inventory or to cost of goods sold. If I double click on it, I see the invoices, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 invoices that are being affected by 0 in cost of goods sold. But in QuickBooks Online, I got the same 4 invoices that are affecting my inventory. So inventory valuation is usually off. in QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks Desktop. And this is where once you find what the issue is, then you can do something like run an inventory evaluation report, adjust your inventory, that sort of thing. And the error you're seeing is particular to this video, this particular conversion. In the real world, when you do your conversion, the error could be something else. But I'm showing you how to use the tool, how to do the conversion, what you do afterwards, the adjustments. That might be the work of an expert. They need to help you kind of clean that up, especially if you want to use that file in QuickBooks Desktop moving forward to run your operation. So if your expectation is, I'm going to run my books this point forward from QuickBooks Desktop, you got to clean that up, have a correct beginning balance. If your expectation is to have a clean book for the IRS or an audit, make sure that up to whatever period you want to make sure that it's accurate, that you make whatever adjustments you need to make. Anyway, I hope the video was useful, even though I know it's a little bit confusing, a lot of moving parts. This is our world. Dealing with QuickBooks, this is our world. Conversion, data loss, adjustments. It is what it is. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.